There we go. Everybody has to agree to that real quick because we know that you got a word for us that's going to be encouraging and you know one of the things that I see that you've done personally at this particular point is that you've taken charge of your own life and you've caused yourself to be responsible and successful to the extent you are, and you're helping a lot of people in the process. So let's take and give Paul a nice welcome here, guys. All right, we appreciate that. So, Paul, the floor is all yours. Take over, my friend.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you, everyone. I'm really blessed and honored to be here. Guess everyone can hear me right. Thumbs up if you get me right. Thank you. Thank you. So my name is Paul Tibiju Kamhozi. I was born and raised in Kampala, but not typically in the other rich areas of Kampala. I was born and raised in a place called Chitintale. I happen to be a youth. I'm making about 34 this year. But very many aspects happened in my life, and they molded me to be the person that I am today. First and foremost, I want to thank Stan, Angela, Conrad, the Education Mission team that is really hosting me today. It's a blessing to be with you guys here, and trust me, for the time that we've been working together, my life in networking in one way or the other is really getting better. So back to my story. How did poverty really teach me to do charity? So in my early childhood, I experienced a life of domestic violence, where my father didn't treat my mother right. And being a very young boy, I was about 4 or 5, but really there's some things that I could see and they weren't pleasing to my eyes. Little did that lifestyle last. My mother decided to walk away, and she took us with her. So literally, I grew up with my mother, single mother, and I had an absentee father. So being with an absentee father, in one way or the other, it affected my lifestyle that I missed a clear identity in my life. I never got someone to really nurture me and really teach me who a responsible man or a responsible person in community, how he or she would be brought up. But I want to thank God that much as all that happened, my mother stood strong and really supported me through. That is in my education, career, in my day-to-day life, and other aspects of life. But in supporting me, she really built this so much on a Christian foundation. So I went to school, I studied in government schools. One of them was Bombo Senior Secondary School. That was close to my mother's workplace. So at some time, I was my mother's handbag, that every time she would be transferred from one job to another, she had to carry me with her and make sure we were together with her. And my first experience knowing where she worked and everything, she worked as a nursing assistant in a barracks, in an army barracks. She went in as a cleaner, but later on, God elevated her and she came out as a nursing assistant. Later on, she went on to even do midwifery. But along with her to her work, she would carry me along with her to her work. And some things that I encountered there always motivated me. One thing that I really remember about my childhood life with her, that there was a day that some people were celebrating on, I don't recall well whether it was Christmas or something. And these children were in a neighborhood where there was some rich children and they were having soda, this normal soda. But at that time, my mother didn't have the money. So I looked at her and I was like, Mom, will we ever buy soda for ourselves? Because we stayed with her in a single room where I had to wake up in the morning, fold my little mattress, and put it under her bed. This single room had only, I think, mattresses, her bed, and a few clothing hung on the wall. For Conrad, maybe he has another team here, have a clue on what I'm talking about. So it is one self-contained room. So when I asked my mother that, she really, the expression on her face wasn't that really good. I didn't know that she felt some kind of pain at that time, because maybe she felt like she had failed like a mother in one way or the other. But that pushed her to really work so hard to see that she could at least provide for her children. So I stayed with her. At times she would even leave me in the house. And at around when I was joining my primary two, she's transferred now to Bombo. By then we're in Kampala now, she's transferred to Bombo. So going to Bombo, we joined the barracks, and it was quite also another experience. So literally, I grew up in a military community, and I learned a few things here and there that really shaped my life. So one of the things that I learned was to be a hard worker. I grew up trying to admire some children, some officers here and there. And as time went on, I started being shaped in a life that was so divergent. Because remember, this is a community of very many ethnicities, very many cultures, and it was really a diverse of cultures that you had to choose which one to follow. So in all that time, I spent so little time with my mother, because you would find she would be at work, and when she's to be home, I'm at school. When she's at work, I'm at home. So we literally got very little time with my mother. And that pushed me into learning some wrong behaviors, basing on even the community that I was in. So I started abusing some substances. So in abusing substances, that's where the journey came from. It started that small, that the people I used to hang out, because my mother would go to work out on nights and she would leave me in the house. So some friends would come and pick me. They're like, you come, we go out and club, we go out and do this. So in the clubbings and everything, I learned to drink alcohol. I learned to smoke cigarettes. And later on, I even learned to smoke weed. And having learned that, it was because of the influence that was in the community. Still, life never stopped there. I continued studying. It was later on that my father passed on, and my dreams of ever having a father figure in my life got shattered completely. Now, at that time, I remember telling my mother, my father has passed on. I think I really need to redirect my life. So my mom looked at me. I remember in the time back, she had gotten a bit disappointed with the person that I was becoming, abusing drugs and, being unruly. I think it was adolescence at that time disturbing me. But when my father passed on, I didn't stop there. Our life was getting a bit better, but the kind that we lived before would always inspire me. So later on, I get to join secondary, and my life in secondary, it's where I went, I'll say, so much crazy. So I remember I even started doing music for my old students and in Luero SS and everywhere. They do remember that. We started doing music. I started producing audio songs for myself. I was really directing my life everywhere. I would try everything that comes before me. I would be pulled any direction because I really lacked a clear identity of whom I wanted to be. And I really, really lacked someone who would redirect me where I was supposed to be. Much as my mother tried so hard, I had very distant, I had close uncles, but they were very distant in my upbringing. So all that my life in secondary until my higher education, I went on to pursue an engineering course in electrical engineering. So in pursuing pursuing my course, I was battling with addictions. So in battling with addictions, I literally owned nothing. I would sell off the few things that I would get and make sure that I sustain myself. My family didn't know about this. Some of my friends have gotten to know of this story, and some of my family have gotten to know of this story. When I went on Christian gatherings and I was sharing my testimonies to communities that I really go with my friends too. So I battled with addiction for about 14 years. But by God's grace, I later on broke free from that addiction. Because I was addicted to sports betting. I was addicted to substance abuse. I was addicted to quite a number of things. But by God's grace, I broke free. But so after my educational course, I went my electrical course. I went further to try out a few things. I tried farming. I tried pushing the music career. I tried pushing other things, but all this didn't birth anything. I would just keep on wasting my money, and I would try, and it hits the wall, and I would give up. So how do I come to join charity? It was after my electrical course that I started working for someone. And this person would pay me around, at first he would pay me around 50,000 Ugandan shillings. He was my friend, and now he's like a brother. He would pay me around 50,000 Ugandan shillings for a month. Not a day, not a week, a month, I'm seeing Stan say, okay, 50,000 is paid some good money, but I would receive that at the end of the month. So, and that is approximately like $65 US dollars. So I worked with this gentleman, but he started molding my life. I think it was, now I was redrawing back to my turning point. So he started taking me out to work with him, and he started inspiring me in one way or the other. And it was at that time that we went further to invest in agriculture and other businesses. And at some time they became successful, but later on they collapsed because the addiction was still behind me. So whatever things that I put my money to use were not really enterprising. So as I was hit so hard with addiction and I was battling with it, I wanted to break through from it. That is when I later started to go back to church and draw closer to God. I remember it's now about 7 years back that I gave my life to Christ. I remember it was in around May 5th, May something. I gave my life to Christ and started walking a Christian life. So in walking a Christian life, I promised myself, having seen what I really went through in my life, I'm just trying to cut this because in the interest of time, but I would look fine to having lengthy talks next week. So it was at this time that I started hosting birthdays, turning my birthdays into charity outreaches. So I got a few friends who I had studied with. I told them, hey, look here, on every 17th of December, that is my birthday. I told them, I want you to help me. I would be gathering some of the things that I've gotten, like I would save some little money from what I had, and would buy stuff like clothing, would buy things like soap, sugar, and other basic necessities, and look for a family and take the things there. So at one time, we went to this one community. It was, I remember it was, I think December 2016. We bought our things. I was with some of my friends. I remember there was Felix, there was Daniel. So they accompanied me to a home called Chileka Home of the Mentally Handicapped Children. So when I reached Chileka Home of the Mentally Handicapped Children, I really had a very unique experience, because these children some of them were mentally handicapped, others were physically handicapped, others, they had all forms of disabilities. So I came back home that night with the satisfaction that I had helped someone. I had reached out to these children, because I remember some of the things we do on our charities, we make sure we carry cake and cut cake with them and give them sweets and engage with them on a very personal level. So the kind of excitement that I got from these children on that day pushed me to go back home and think through. At that time, we didn't have the name like Charity Gospel Missions Africa. No, it was just a small outreach group of friends who were reaching out to communities that I was spearheading. So when I sat home I really pondered so much on what I wanted to be in life and where my life was going to end up. I sat down myself and asked, where onto this world that I will write my name and it will never be erased. I remembered I had tried to do business and it wasn't moving well. I remembered I wouldn't, I think, maybe penetrate the engineering fraternity and be maybe the most outstanding electrical engineer. So I remembered I didn't come from a very wealthy background that maybe it would push me to be one of the richest people around. I remembered I came from a poor family, a struggling life with my mother, and I was blessing the Lord that our life was getting better. So I had to think through and get to know, to ask myself, what was my purpose in the life I was living? So that was an assignment that I gave myself to discover. I got to know, much as I was good at business administration and everything, I wouldn't break through to leave a legacy behind that my children would pick up. I really felt I should do something that would raise a benchmark for my friends and my coming generation. I didn't want to lower my benchmarks. I didn't want my benchmark to be lowered so low that when my children come to take on life or come to the world, they wouldn't feel challenged by the life that I was living. So I needed to do something that I really had passion in and something that really would take me somewhere and leave a benchmark for my generation and other generations to follow, to pick up. So my friends told me, maybe you could be a reverend. You're good, you can preach the gospel. Others called me a pastor. Others called me all sorts of things. But I told them I wouldn't be misled by the titles they were trying to impose on me. So I had to think through and discover what my purpose was in this life. I prayed over it because now I had started moving a very faithful Christian journey with my God. I prayed over it. I did fast and everything. And it's at that time that at least I felt that my God was speaking back to me. So in speaking back to me, he assigned me this. Actually, I just took a small nap. But by then, I was working somewhere in a Christian organization. Working with that Christian organization also had given me diverse experience about what people go through Christianity and the day-to-day lives of people. But they didn't really do what my passion in Christianity and maybe in the non-profit area felt like I should be doing. So even after some time, we had to part ways with them. And it is that we birthed Charity Gospel Missions Africa. So when we birthed Charity Gospel Missions Africa, I asked God, what is our direction here? What is my direction? What should I really do with this? Give me a vision. And the vision of Charity Gospel Missions Africa was to inspire, empower, develop, promote, lives through love and the gospel of Jesus Christ. Inspire, empower, develop, and promote lives through love and the gospel of Jesus Christ. It was quite a big mission, and he went further on to give me a vision of reaching out to lives of vulnerable African people by providing a home to the homeless, feeding the needy, educating the African child and everything. So I prayed to God to give me a team. And by his grace, people started coming on. Most of them were students from the organization that I was working with. So they started joining on because we had kept on doing more charities and more charities. So it was from that time that, Charity Gospel Missions Africa started to grow. Not documented anywhere, like registered with the government and everything, but it started to grow, and its growth was contagious. That every place we went to, there would be 1 or 2 people would come and join us. So it started growing, and people started sharing ideas. So as we speak today, Charity Gospel Missions Africa has grown to have a following of 5,000, is it 400 plus people? It has a family that is really coming on to join. So I started networking because one person spoke to me at a particular time and told me, success is a choice. It's not a chance. Success is a choice. It's not a chance. So I knew that if Charity Gospel Missions Africa was to succeed in implementing its vision and mission, I had to move out and pave way for it. I had to network. I had to do quite a number of things. I had to sacrifice. So most of the people came in and they're like, boss, you're broke. You literally earn so little, you don't have so much. How are you going to sustain this? I told them I will sustain it by the grace of God. So I started sharing half of my salary. Any income I would get, I would at least try to put something small aside for Charity Gospel Missions Africa. So I want to bless the Lord that my sacrifices today are multiplying, that very many people are coming up to join the cause and push us forward. As we speak today, Charity Gospel Missions Africa has grown to a program we called Educating the African Child. So Educating the African Child program is a program where we bring in orphans and sponsor their education and other few basic needs. This is not done through sponsorship or anything. This is done through our little savings as a group that we do. And for that case, I want you people to upload my team that I serve with at Charity Gospel Missions Africa. And I want to tell them that I'm super proud of them. So today, that's where Charity Gospel Missions Africa is. It continues to grow. And by the grace of God, we are getting very many people joining us. Very many people are coming in to really sponsor some programs. And one of those people is my friend here, Conrad Leonard. So I want to upload Conrad Leonard Solutions for always coming in to support Charity Gospel Missions Africa. For the recent charities that we've had, he has come on board and given us some contributions to buy at least foodstuffs that we donate to these people. So I pray that as we go furthermore to share and network, other people could come in and pick up this dream and we push it to the brighter side. One thing that I want to assure the team here, the panelists here that are watching this, few things that will always drive us and enable us achieve our dreams or our goals. One, I got to learn that success and wisdom are contagious, and so is poverty and stupidity.
Say that both again.
I came to learn that success and wisdom are contagious, and so is poverty and stupidity. There is a saying that goes that when you have 9 friends, you're most likely to be the 10th. And that is very true. If we want to change our lives to a better thing, we need to change our circles. If we could sit in the circles of successful people, like the team I'm seeing here, then the talk is different. We wouldn't be pondering on only problems, but we shall seek for solutions. So, my good people, I'm really glad, I'm happy, I'm honored to be hosted here. It was really a nice time sharing with you part of my story, though I tried to jumbo and make at least come to a conclusion. I want to thank Conrad Leonard Solutions for helping us on our website. Helping us on our website. It's currently running. So if you want to know some more things about Charity Gospel Missions Africa, I'm going to request you to go and you go to your search engine and try to find out that there's a lot of quite detailed information there. I'll request Conrad maybe to give us a site, how the site looks like. And please, thank you so much. I'm really humbled, I'm really honored. It was really so nice getting to share with you good people. God bless you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
That is the site.
Good, we're gonna come back to you. Are you sharing right now, Conrad? Open up your mic.
Yes, I'm sharing Paul's website. That is charitygospelmissionsafrica.org. So it is still under development in case you find a few pages not working, but at least there is something you can see through. There is a contact you can call in case you want to support the foundation. And each message goes to Paul, I'm sure. And for any contributions, I'm sure I told Stanley yesterday, we were trying to create a PayPal account, but in Uganda, you can't create a business PayPal account. We were all surprised. You can only create a personal account, but we'll look for a better way how we can get whatever funds we can for the small people that Paul is really trying to support. If you click on Educate an African Child, just under the projects, there is Educating the African Child. You will find there are some children here that are really looking for school fees. And Paul is using money from his pocket to support some of these kids. So anyone who can give a coin, a small contribution, I'm sure they will really appreciate and be humbled.
All right, thank you, Conrad. And yes. Paul, we're so excited. We're so proud of you, man. I tell you what, you have just what we say in America, taking the bull by the horns, okay? and it's a great story as we listen to it. You know, being raised by a single mom and struggling, and I think if we look at a lot of us, sometimes we will go through those periods where we're a certain amount rebellious, where, you know, we find ourselves getting into habits that we shouldn't be involved in, that are stealing our money from us. That's probably one of the biggest things that happens, that the reason sort of drags us down, is because of our habits. We steal our money and our time and our ability to be productive. You know, you said a couple of different things in there. One, that you realize it was a circle of people that you were spending time with there, Paul, that really began to make a difference. And when you were dealing with running in a certain circle of people, that it kept you down, and that you realized that you hadn't made that change. And then, of course, having a personal relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ. What really happens when we become born again, or when we have that experience, and is that we begin to surrender to ourselves and begin to serve somebody else. Now, for each of us, that our spiritual journey may be a little bit along this lines, okay? But what we do is we have a direction that we're going. And so what Paul has done is he's changed his life, and he went in a different direction. And as we go in that different direction, that's when we can begin to grow and mature and begin to do something. I love the idea that you took your birthday, okay, September the 17th, and we'll have to remember that when that comes up, September the 17th, that you took and you decided to take your resources, the things that you had that should have been your day to receive things and that you wanted to give, okay? And that's go ahead.
And the birthday is December 17th.
December, not 7. Okay, not September. Sorry. I wrote it down, just wrote it down wrong there. Sorry about that. All right. December 17th. Conrad, make sure that's on our list there. Sweetheart, make sure we have that on our list. We'll make it December the 17th, a national holiday for educational missions. And we certainly want to join in there. But you allowed that little seed, you know, when you see those children, especially, you know, Uganda has lots of children, okay? But when you see children that are extra handicapped, you know, that are struggling with different things that you and I don't struggle with, okay? It really touches our heart and causes us to look outside. And what occurs with a lot of us, it's part of growing up, that we become very self-centered sometimes, okay? We're thinking about ourselves. When we struggle with an addiction, it's because we're thinking about our own selves, okay? We're thinking about what I want, what's good for me, what do I need, right? But when Paul stepped out of his addiction, when he stepped out of himself and he began to reach out to other people, that's when he really got free, okay? And really just changed the entire course of his life. So that was just amazing. I'm so glad to see what you're accomplishing there as you continue to grow. Who wants to share a word with us now? Who wants to speak up and say something to Paul and encourage him, or you have something that you want to share with us? I'm looking for that hand, or unmute yourself if you're ready to share. Sometimes the person, I see your finger going up there, baby doll. Unmute yourself. Go ahead.
I enjoyed this story so much. What I want to share is I've studied a lot about purpose and passion. And one thing I've learned about both of those is purpose is when you serve another. It's like you take what you're here for on earth and you use it as a service to another. And passion is here for yourself to enjoy. Like, what are your passions in life? And sometimes people will, kind of confuse them or think they're the same, but they're not. You're given purpose in order to serve the world. You're given passion to bring joy to yourself. So there is a difference between them. And Paul, I am just, wow, good job going in to hear that purpose for your life. A lot of people make that mistake of going out to find purpose, but it's actually when we turn in that we can start to identify what is that thing I'm made to do on this earth while I'm here. So very great. It's a beautiful story. I love your story.
Thank you, Andre.
Thank you for sharing that. You know, we all have different resources. We all have different skills and abilities, and there's things that we can do and things we can't do, but we give what we've got. And that fulfills the needs, you know, of everybody working as a team. It's, I guess, one of the things that touched my heart more than anything else is just that how Educational Mission has grown into a team. You know, I'm looking, I'm seeing all you folks on there, and it's like, wow. And each week we have some different people. We have some people can make it, some people that can't make it, but we're growing, okay? We're impacting people. And as you guys share with folks, you know, each of us are doing our thing in a way. But thank you so very much for being part of the team. We got some new people coming in right now, which I'm grateful for also. Who else has a word they'd like to share with us? There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry tonight. My network was not very stable. That's why it kept jumping, but I'm doing my best to be in a meeting and follow up every presentation by my colleague. It was a wonderful one. In fact, it's a very powerful story. Yeah, as he stated, it is really very important to love wisdom. He says something that success and wisdom are contagious. So it's very, very important to really seek wisdom because many people, they tend to give up. They tend to give up that, and then the devil speaks to their mind, and then they give up in life. They become comfortable, whether not comfortable, but wherever they are, they just give up. They say, for me, I'm born from a poor family. I can do this and that. Yeah, but now if you seek wisdom, however much the background, the family background, the humble, however much the humble the family background is, you can still make it. One, you have to have this social connection. You connect with people who can give you ideas. And then you need to be hardworking. You need to do something. You need to try anything you can. Yeah, you don't need to be lazy. Because now, even if you get good ideas, if you're lazy, you really can't do anything. If you are lazy, you can read, you can sit and do something, then you really can make it. Yeah, I love his story. His life story, really quite similar with mine, because I'm also from a very humble background. And I tried many things to reach where I am right now. And the most important thing that happened in my life is when I received Christ. So I was able to manage some of the things that could divert me away from the way of life. Then I started staying focused and studying. I didn't study one thing, I studied many things. I even had no idea which one would help me in future. I studied this, I studied that, I studied this, I studied that, everything. I studied very many things. I really can't tell the whole story right now, but it's really so encouraging for us to consider just some few things. One is to be connected to the right people. Social connection is very important. And then two is to seek wisdom. I mean, when you're connected to people who are focused, and then you seek wisdom, you learn, you have to read books, you have to read stories, you have to listen, you have to pay attention. And then the third one is you really need to be hardworking. And you don't need to be lazy. No matter whatever you're doing, you really need to work hard. Because some people are even lazy, they can't even read even a book. Even if you give them a book that can help them, they just get the book, tuck it somewhere under the table or under the bed, and then they forget. Even the Bible, some people, they have Bibles that they don't even read. They tuck it under the bed, they only open it on Sunday. So however much they may be having good materials. If you're lazy, you cannot read, you cannot do anything, you really can't learn, and you really can't get what's going on to be able to succeed. So if you are focused, you are connected to the right people who will give you ideas, and then you seek wisdom, and then you are hardworking, then you will make it to a level that you never expected. But now people who are lazy, however much the opportunity comes their way, they can't grab it, and they don't even learn. So they remain in their position, they remain poor, they remain casting themselves, blaming, and many of them end up in drugs and other things. And because they've given up in life, they don't have any hope. So that is what is really affecting many people around. But now, when we take our time to attend such a wonderful meeting like this, it opens our mind. We begin thinking outside the box. We begin seeing possibilities where there seem to be no possibility. Yeah, for me, I love charity work. I love charity work so much because before I joined the military, I also did couples of work. I worked this casual labor. I worked in a photo studio as a photographer. I also worked in, I studied the computer, I studied driving, I studied education. I'm a professional teacher. I studied education, secondary school teacher. And then, but I didn't do any of them anyway. So in the military, because of my hard work, I was also able to build a good career and to have some good CV in the military. And my superiors, they know my hard work, and they elevate me, they lift me up, and they give me assignments. Difficult assignment, I always do them because I am hardworking. So I mean, it's everything. We really need to be hardworking in everything we do. We need to be devoted and do it with one heart, and not to love sleeping and relaxing. So that's all I can say. Thank you very much. I'm really.
Thank you very much.
Want to appreciate.
And Dave, that's a good word. You know, laziness. You hit that right on the thing. People are lazy, and a lot of times they're lazy because it's sort of a two-edged sword. They're lazy and they've given up hope. Okay, then they get in trouble in sort of a vicious circle. But you're right, it's, you got to seek wisdom. You know, the scriptures say that in Proverbs that she stands on the corner street hollering out and trying to give you wisdom. Eddie Jack, I see you got your hand up there, buddy. We're looking forward to coming to you. Are you ready to share with us? Thank you, David.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. I hope you guys can hear me. Am I audible enough? All right. I am really happy to hear Paulo's story. If I'm not mistaken, I've met you, Paul. You may not have seen me. The day, I think, when Conrad was sick, I had come to see him. I found that you had brought him chicken. Was that the Paul guy? Yeah. He was even putting on glasses at night. Eh? Yeah, he's the one. So, Paul, I am really happy to have met you before anyone else apart from Conrad. And I didn't know you're that a great man. I only knew you were just a friend, Conrad. Really, you've done great. It's not easy to battle with addiction. That part hit me really hard, like too much. It was too much. And I'm just happy that you quit. You quit completely. And you have to thank God that you had your mother to guide you, because if you didn't have a parent, your story would have been another one. Thank you so much for everything. If you ever need my help and I'm available, I'll surely be there for you. If you need anything regarding photography and it is within my means, I can always be there. Once you're to go downtown, once you're to visit somewhere, because I know you need photos for your website, so you can always reach out to me. The way you brought Conrad chicken, it means chicken is there. So when I go with you, I'm assured. Again, Regarding the book that we are always reading, because every now and then I revisit the book. That's why for me, when art seemed to have opened the way for me, I decided to add in some other stuff so that just in case today there is no art client, what will I eat? So through that, I added photography. I think the first meeting when you people brought me on board is a few days, like 3 or 4, I had bought a camera. So later on, been working here and there. So the other camera bought another camera. We have 2 cameras. But then I didn't stop there. I thought of, if there are no people who need photos, if it is not season, like here is somehow season, when it's graduation, people need photos, weddings, and so on. And you find there is a month where people are not marrying, people are not introducing, people are not graduating, and photography business is slightly down. So I said, let me bring in some other stuff. Interior designing, wall hanging. Conrad, where Conrad is seated, he gave me some money, some reasonable money, and I designed for him his office. It's really beautiful. If you go there, he may be having a bad phone at the moment and you cannot really see well, but the walls are really good. So I decided to deal with 3 businesses at a go. Art, painting, photography, and wall hangings. And as I talk now, it's not bad because I'm able to sustain myself and some siblings like before. But right now, the pressure has reduced, like to be really worried about the landlord. Oh, money. Yeah, landlord knocking. That one is now catered for. I can eat some good meal at my convenient time, and I'm really grateful. I am so happy to meet you people. I'm so happy to always talk to you and so on. Recently, 2 days ago, I was contacted by a certain tours and travel company. Went together to one national park called Action Falls. It's in Uganda. I went with them as their photographer. And after we came back on Sunday, a friend to the other friend contacted me that they need to make me their travel photographer, since they have a company where you people from abroad always come and they take them around. And I really accepted, and I'm going to be working with them, but they gave me a condition. A condition. I have talked with Conrad, I think, yesterday. They need me to have a certain equipment. There is an equipment I don't have. Camera I actually have 2, but I need a 70-200 millimeter lens to easily capture wildlife while in a park. Most people are so much interested in those animals, the lion. We saw the lion the other time, but I couldn't capture it. It is always far away there. Even it fears to reach people because I think it is always thinking it may eat them all. So when you don't have that lens, you cannot be able to capture that. So on my savings and my schedule, I have some money, but the lens is quite expensive. 3rd generation lens is around 6 million. So I have right now to hustle with that to get it right there and then. So the company will have grown at a higher speed. As I talk now, the company is growing rapidly. Even some people now fear me. If you fear to just hire me, they are saying maybe now you're expensive, the way you're growing, has really scared us. And every time, every day, I always associate with Conrad. We talk a lot. And surely if we had like 10 Conrads in a society, things would have been, I don't know, a better place. Because inside our class, the people we studied with, he has really been helping here and there. Different gatherings. We've held different activities for the class, and really Conrad now is the chief person there because everyone respects him. Personally, I may be older than him like by 1 year, but it's as if he's older than me by 10 years because of the responsibilities he really holds. So through that, I am calling on board to see how we can really cater for something, and we get that lens that is going to help us improve there. And then we shall be having 3 companies in one, three of them, and soon or later we shall be employing people, because you cannot do all those things alone. At times I don't even find time to sleep. Conrad was complaining he needed something, I wasn't there. Sometimes when meetings are here, I'm on border running up and down. Sometimes I'm in a taxi, I try to catch up. So we find, and as a human being, you also need your time. So soon or later, we shall have to really employ people to help us. And I am grateful and so happy for everything. Conrad, would you kind of share the lens, please?
I have the lens of my phone, so I can't share it right now, but I'm sure they will see it on social media. I'll share it on social media.
Okay.
That'd be great. Thank you, Eddie Jack, for those words. And you're right. You're growing because you have vision of where you want to go in those type of things. You're going to get that, I'm sure. And my wife can assure you those things are expensive. I mean, get a nice lens. I mean, it costs as much as a car. They're outrageous on those. All right, guys, we're going to close it up for today. Next week, we have I see a thumbs up by Larry 19 there. Good for you. The next week, we have JB or BJ, sweetheart. What's the lady's name?
It's Dr. JB. She's an ER doctor here in America.
Okay, ER is emergency room doctor. So she's an emergency room doctor here. She's a Black lady here in America who has taken and lifted herself up through education and hard work. She wasn't lazy. Okay, she did what she needed to do. So we're looking really forward to hearing that. Paul, thank you again for sharing. We appreciate that so very, very kindly. You were a real blessing, a real blessing to all of us, and some good things for us to learn.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tim, for inviting me here. Thank you for hosting me here. It was really a pleasure sharing with you what we basically do at Charity Gospel Missions Africa. And we, trust me, I promise to always be in touch with you people. I promise to stay here, and I commit myself to seeing how best we could get to push each other's purposes to see that each one of us could live a long living legacy even after they are gone, because tomorrow we shall not be here, but our legacies will stay. So I pray that the Almighty God continues to see us through and bless us. And surely I call upon you, all of you, please check out our website, get 1 or 2 children. It's not so much, at least drop something for them. Maybe, you never know. God created us to aid others, to be of hope to others, not only to ourselves. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. I'm really blessed to be here with you.
Well, thank you. Something that just dawned on me, and that we could do and should do, Conrad, is, if you want to do this, Paul, is to make you an official partner with Educational Missions, and we can put your link on our website. So we can put your link right there. Eddie Jack, same way with you, if you'd like a link to your website. And Conrad, so let's come up with associates or partners, whatever we're gonna call them. And so we'll have links from our websites to you guys, so that we can make sure that, you know, we can pass the love on as people are looking around. So, yeah, would you guys like to do that? Would you be for that, Paul?
I think that would be fine. That would be okay with me.
Okay, good.
That's a very brilliant idea.
Okay, if we can share each other's contacts, that's going to be a blessing. And so at this point, we're going to say good night and good evening. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for committing your Tuesdays to be here. I know y'all are all busy doing lots of different things, but you still make out time to come and be with us. So I appreciate it very kindly. Reach out to Conrad if you would like to speak. Evans, if there's something you would like to say, or anybody who would like to take and share, reach out to Conrad and we'll make sure that we get you on schedule. And we're looking forward to next week, okay, and the things that we can get together. All right. I appreciate it very much. We'll see everybody. Everybody, a nice little wave goodbye there, and I'm going to end the meeting for all. Good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.